Welcome to the play ratings. As Lou and I are going to be discussing yesterday's very disappointing 2-1 loss to Everton at Selhurst Park. A little different setup today, so I apologize for it being different. Things have to kind of work on the fly. But Lou, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. I always feel better the day after a loss. I had to switch off completely. I'd done the watch along, and me and Tim 2 for 2, 2-1 losses at home. So I guess me and Tim aren't going to do anymore, or we can go for third time lucky. But yeah, disappointing performance. FYI, a few of my ratings are a bit harsh. Don't take them too literal. But yeah, I thought I'd add a little bit of laughter to it because, boy, that was a tough watch yesterday. But I think in the back of every Palace fan's mind, that was going to happen.
We spoke about it in the preview. We always say that Everton is just it just doesn't matter who the manager is. Besides Lampard, we just don't play well against them. So,
and even they beat us 3-2 when they attacked Vieira. That was Lampard, wasn't it?
They did, but we did beat him once in the league and once in the cup, and that's a rare. To beat him twice in the season.
That was Benitez in the home game, the first game. It wasn't even Lampard.
You're right. It was.
The 3-1 was Benitez.
Yeah,
and
the cup game
was Lampard.
The cup game was Lampard when he complained about the fluky goal, the lucky goal. Yeah, you're right. It was Benitez. Right. He got fired. You're right. Before we start again, remember to like and subscribe. We appreciate all your support. Again, check out if you got the desire, check out the match reaction yesterday. It's very emotional, but again, we're doing the best we can to put out this content for you guys. Let us begin with goalkeeper Dean Henderson. I gave him a 5. You gave him a 4. I'll start first. Didn't think he had a good game. Again, gave up 2 goals. He only faced 4 shots. Yep, he had 4 saves. That's right. He faced 6 shots, had 4 saves, gave up 2 goals. Passing 18 for 25, 70%, which was decent. But the long ball again, like Turner, 1 for 8, not good. Did make a good save on Beto from Lindstrom, and another good save from Lindstrom early on in the second half. But just overall, I didn't think he had a wonderful game. He did get hit, though. I remember he got injured, got hit in the head early in the first half. But what are your thoughts on Dean Henderson?
2 goals conceded. Didn't help us with building up play. Wasn't a terrible performance, but 4 shots, 2 goals, no critical saves made. Yeah, so 4 from me. And to be fair, 4 is high. It's high for the rest of the team.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Speaking of which, Dan Munoz, I gave him a 5. You gave him a 2. Go ahead, you go first.
Listen, like with Munoz, I've said it over and over again that we have suffered not having a good right back or right wing back for a long time. But to me, yesterday, everything that I say is bad about Munoz happened, and everything I say is good about Munoz didn't happen. I don't think he troubled Mykolenko once. His we didn't press high, so I don't know. He's ineffective then. His build-up play wasn't great. Terrible square passes to centre midfielders, hospital balls to me, constantly losing the ball, even cushioned headers losing the ball, no threat going forward, terrible end product in the last third. Listen, to me, that's a horror show of a performance, if I'm being honest. 2's obviously harsh, but I'm being harsh today. That's what it is.
Do you know what? I also don't think he had a great game. So the eye test, he had 2 early crosses that were accurate in the 12th minute. He wasn't involved a lot in the first half. But funny enough,
crosses was accurate. They weren't. I remember those crosses, and they weren't accurate.
You know what? Do
you know what it was? The reason why it goes down as an accurate cross because he played the ball high when he should have been low, and it was collected on the other side.
Fair enough.
So it counts as an accurate cross, but it was not accurate at all.
Right. But he did have, again, this is not a stat game for Danny Munoz. He had 80% accurate passing, and he had 71 touches. He had 4 clearances, 6 recoveries, and he won 4 out of 6 ground duels. So I know what you're saying, but who was he up against yesterday, Lou? Was it was Lindstrom, right?
Say again? No, Harrison
on that side, and the other side, right? Lindstrom was on Mitchell's side. Did you think that Mykolenko did a lot yesterday in the game, or even Harrison?
Some was sharp in the first half.
Okay, fair enough. I mean,
What was quite sharp in the first half.
yeah,
I just,
I didn't think that the wide players were the
I,
issue for them yesterday, but I get what
I,
you're
don't-
saying.
I don't get like because I understand we play like one wing back. Like Mitchell was the one that was higher and wider, and Munoz seemed to be the one
Was
that
the
was collecting
yesterday
the
was
ball in the middle. I don't get why it's that way when they're just like we're playing to both of their disadvantages. Mitchell does not want the ball up high. Like he gets a nosebleed in the final third. And Munoz he doesn't have the technical ability to receive the ball in the middle of the park. He can't play, he doesn't play thread balls in down the side. And yeah, I just didn't get it. I didn't get the tactics at all. And normally we win the ball high up, and he didn't really win the ball in any dangerous areas.
right. Well, the funny thing, the manager did mention that the pressing didn't work because the gap were too far apart. So I think that definitely is true of both Munoz and Mitchell as far as the pressing parts yesterday. Wow. Next one. Tariq Mitchell. I gave him 3. You gave him half. So I'm going to put this up. These are the stats for Mitchell, but you've got to speak to this because again, I thought he was obviously led the error led to the goal. Don't know what he's doing on that throw in, but why don't you just tell me what else you think as far as how Mitchell played yesterday?
The only excuse he has is he was concussed because some of that some of those decisions, some of ah, it was just so bad. It was so bad. Defensively, he was bad. Attacking, he was bad. He gets a 0.25 for walking on the pitch and a 0.25 for walking off the pitch. That's what it is for me. Um, we all hope that the Chilwell coming in would like fire him up. It looks like it's shot him down, knowing that his place is at risk. I don't know what that performance was. He's playing against Jacob Ryan, a 6'4" centre back. Yeah, and Jacob Ryan was more of an attacking threat down that right than Mitchell was at all. There was even that time where in the first half you saw Jacob Ryan sprint, took on 2 players down the line and whipped the ball in the box. Ty can't do it. I don't get it. And I don't want to pile on Ty because I feel like he's a great left back. He's a great left back, great servant to the club. I don't want to bash him, but that was probably the worst performance I have seen from him. And he's lucky that he didn't come off at half time. I don't know why. And then after he came off, he jogged straight down the tunnel. He just looked like a defeated man. I don't know whether he's got an injury. He was concussed, but God, that was bad. And that throw-in at not any level of football of any age is that acceptable, that goal. I'm talking under 8s in the park throwing that ball, and the fact that that typical when he goes like that and you're blaming someone else instead of just recovering and sprinting in and doing anything to get back. It was all over the place. It was bad.
Yeah, again, you're right. He did get head injury. I believe it was in the 39th minute, and I think that had affected him. But we'll never know. He
It
definitely
was
was
bad for the first 39. So
right when he was
that
subbed
was,
off. You
yeah.
saw him go right down the tunnel. So that had to some, but he was poor. And again, the thing we're going to look at is obviously is the throwing. I don't know what he's doing. Him and we're going to get to Lerma also. Both of them. I don't know
Oh
what they're
yeah,
doing
yeah,
on
yeah,
that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
yeah.
do that because we're totally out of position. Then at that point, you got Munoz trying to defend. You've got no Lacroix. You got no Gay. You got no defender. You got no Richards. They're all up at the halfway line, so we get counted so easily. It's just a poor. It just
By
epitomized
Alcaraz and
yesterday.
Beto.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was poor. I mean, I think you're a little bit harsh, but I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from, but it is what it is. Next, we'll get to our centre backs. Chris Richards, I gave him a 5, you gave him a 4. I thought, honestly, well, Gehi is going to be our man of the match defensive back. I don't think Richards played that poorly yesterday. 79% passing. I thought his passing was improved over some recent matches. 71 touches, 7 clearances. He had a chance to score. Chance he headed over from Eze when Eze was on, but he also made a great run into the box, which is very un-Richards like when he set up that chance for, I believe it was, that's the one that saw hit the crossbar. So I thought he was, and I don't, again, him against Beto was okay. Beto really did more of a job on the quad. I don't think anybody else attacking wise did much against Richard. I thought Richard was okay, but again, we gave up 2 goals and it wasn't great. But your thoughts on Chris Richards?
a 4 is a decent performance in this in my ratings. I don't think he was the worst. I don't think he was great. Defensively, he made a few important tackles, but yeah, I don't really have much to say about this performance in general. But yeah, just move on.
Fair enough. Myself, the Qua, 5 from me, 4 from you. You go first. But just quickly, I think this is probably worst performance in the Palace shirt this season, but you go.
Yeah, I did say in the preview, I said I thought Better would play into Lacroix's hands, like as in like physical, up for the battle. Um, but I did, and then I ended up saying, but Better will probably end up scoring, which he did. I feel like he kind of bullied Lacroix. I think he that was the perfect lone striker performance you'll ever see away from home. He ran into spaces that people don't really want to go to. He chased endless balls. He put his foot in, and I just think he physically matched Lacroix, and he had a little bit of quality. And I think that was Lacroix's initial fault for the second goal. Terrible clearance, like header. It was just like a nothing sort of header. Then the ball was recycled. It was like a third phase. Just off. I'm going to put this down to an off day. Well, we can't really because the home form has been consistently like this. But I'm just going to, put it down to a bad day at the office.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to add. I mean, 77% passing. The stats weren't poor. 59 touches, but he lost 6 duels, and that's not like him to lose 6 duels in a match. So
Beto was a nuisance.
Yeah, people don't rate Beto, and I remember you saying that. But yesterday he certainly did a job on our back three. But of the back three, the best player of the three was Mark Gay. Both gave him a 7. I thought it was very solid. He pushed up on the left a lot early in the match. Most complete passes in the game, he had 63, 82% overall pass completion rate, 5 clearances, 5 out of 9 long balls, 8 passes into the final third, which is important because we were trying to get balls into Mateta, and he had the assist on the Mateta goal. So I thought Mark had a very good game yesterday. But your thoughts on, despite us giving up the 2 goals, your thoughts on Mark Gahey?
I did. I think I said in the preview he'll be key as to creating an overload if you coming into the midfield because Richards wouldn't be the one to do that. So yeah, I thought he was really good. But what can you do if Mitchell's your left wing back and Devaney's your left centre midfield? You're handicapped already. He's probably a bigger attacking threat than both of those two combined because they were poor yesterday. Not only was he the best player, he was handicapped with the players that were playing around him. So typical Gahey man the match performance. Another assist. He gets goals and assists. All round unbelievable player.
Yeah. We'll do the 2 centre midfield. We'll go to the least of the poor yesterday, and that was Will Hughes. I gave him a 5. He gave him a 4. I thought he was fine for the most part. Again, Garner and Garner Gay, I didn't really notice them, honestly. They do a work when right performance, but I didn't really notice them in the match yesterday. I thought Hughes was fine. He was trying to, I thought he was good in the first half. He came off for Kamada late. Stats were fine. I think he had like a 78% passing completion. I thought he worked really hard, but I guess creative-wise, he didn't do as much creating as he did, obviously, in the Doncaster game. But what are your thoughts on Will Hughes yesterday? You gave him a 4, so.
Yeah. So in the watch-along, I spoke to Tim before, and I said there was. I said it in a preview as well. The key, my word for the day was like being patient. Yeah. Move the ball. 1, 2 touch. You cannot take too many touches. And he did, when he took 1 and 2 touches, we were getting in the thirds. It happened. We had the Devaney, the Mateta chance, then the Devaney shot, and we looked like we was first 15 minutes. We looked like we was moving the ball well.
Yeah.
Then the extra touches started to happen. The centre back would turn that way, then he'd go that way, and then the whole patterns of play just looked like they're breaking down. And then there was a time when I think Hughesy took a touch, then another touch, then he lost the ball. And then the same thing happened with Devaney. Do you remember he took the touch when they nearly broke the first time, where Devaney takes a touch out wide, instead of playing the ball, he takes another touch inside to then, as soon as you take an extra touch, you're closing all the space down. And Hughes, half the time he was getting it right. And there was a few times he did it in the second half, and you could see how frustrated he was. I saw him punch the ground a couple of times because he knew that he had to move the ball quickly. But fair play to Garner, Gay, and who else was playing in the middle? And Alcaraz. They've done a
Alcaraz,
job.
right?
They've done a job. They pressed. They worked hard. Yeah, I thought. Do you know what? As much as we weren't great yesterday, I think Everton executed Moyes' plan very well, and I feel they're a very physical, strong team. And you've got to move the ball quickly. You've got to get them. And you saw how many tactical fouls they made on us. I think Garner brought down Hughes twice.
He was the most foul player in the match, Hughes. Yeah, you're right.
There you go. So I think 4. I'm giving him a 4 because my ratings are just low, but he was definitely one of the better players.
And I think he made a very good point as we move on to the Jefferson Lerma, is that we're not giving credit enough to Everton. As much as you want to, say, okay, they're only Everton, Moyes, etc. Moyes had a game plan yesterday. They had 13 fit outfield players. They were obviously tired, was supposed to be tired from the Liverpool game, but they didn't show it. And they executed the game plan and they played really well. And we got to give them credit. And you have to be fair. You have to give them credit because they really did execute the game plan on us and they frustrated us. What I will say, we had chances in the first half. Mateta had the chance. Devaney had a shot. And obviously, I said Sarr hit the crossbar. And then, of course, we can get to, let's do it now. We'll get to Lerma because Lerma did have a goal that was called off. And if that goal is, and I thought it was a goal. I saw you in a watch along, thought it was a goal. If that goal counts, it's a different game. But real quickly, I gave him a 4, he gave him a 1. You can say what you want to say and then go into Lerma right away. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say also, I know Palace fans are going to get frustrated, but Everton they were in the exact same form as us. 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. They just drew to Liverpool, who we never beat. And another thing, this whole, I know they had 13 outfield players. How many outfield players did Bournemouth have when they went to Newcastle? They had 11. It don't matter if you got 13, that's enough. That's 11 on the pitch and 2 to come on.
Execute the game plan. That's what you got to do.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lerma, I knew what was going to happen when Lerma lined up. I think it was the first 10 minutes to play a crossfield ball to Munoz, and it was just the most. I forgot the word. It's like not when in football when you show a bit of disguise, but what's the opposite word? It's not obvious, but there was no disguise on the pass, no backlift, and it was just like a ballooned pass it didn't have any loft, it didn't have any drive on it, and I just said, yeah, this whatever game plan this is, if we're going to be switching the ball, it cannot be this guy. And then effectively losing the ball, just it was shocking. And then that throw-in, he is just as much to blame for that, maybe even more, because he went to ask for the ball and then turned around.
And you see Ty's reaction was like, what are you doing? You're after the ball and then you're looking at me. And
even when I was watching, Ty would done the right thing. It should have been played to Lerma and it should have been recycled again. And he turned around. And then how slow was he to recover? Because the ball didn't go that far behind him. So yeah, listen, one all day long because he played 45 minutes. He didn't even get a chance to make it a 2 or a 3. That was shocking. I don't want to see him in the lineup if Hughes and Wharton are fit. I'll see him come on, but I don't want to see him starting, especially at home, because he just doesn't have the technical ability. And there was the other thing when he was crossing from deep, from in their final third, but deep from the left hand side, and he tried to play. And you're playing crosses into Braithwaite, Tarkowski, and O'Brien. Who's going to win the header? No one's going to win the header.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say, I think it's a bit harsh because I do admit that the error that he made for the throw was terrible, led to the goal. I'm not going to necessarily say stats-wise he was okay because he was. I mean, he had a 78% passing, but he did set up a lot of times on that left-hand side to play a long diagonal, of which he completed 2 out of the 5. So it wasn't working. He shouldn't even have tried that.
Gay, can do it with his opposite foot.
Gay, he can do that, right? So you kind of wonder
Gay, can play the same ball better with his weaker foot, and our centre midfielder cannot do it with their strong foot. A centre midfielder should, if you're playing in a 2-man midfield, you need to be able to play a 40, 50-yard ball to your wing back in space. You should be able to put it on a sixpence. That's my
Right.
personal view.
Right. But again, I'm going to go back to the fact that, he scores that goal on the Devaney corner. And again, I'm not sure how the referees see that as going out. It'll go out, they ruled it. But if that goal goes in, it's such a different game. So, but I know what you're saying. That error by him and Mitchell just magnifies the whole part. And again, that
That
goal
changed the whole game.
is a goal change. That goal change. It's the same way as if his goal is scored, he changes the game. So I understand what you're saying. I just think that I don't think he had that real bad moment, and I think that magnified. But I get what you're saying. So
Yeah,
let's just
because
move
we
on from
said we knew it was going to happen. Everton were going to score and at first, and we knew
that.
that we just knew.
Yeah, yeah, we did.
We just knew.
Justin Devaney, 4 from me, 2 from you. I thought again, so I'm not going to backtrack. I thought before the game when the lineup came out, we said in that group chat, I had no problem him starting. I thought, but what against Doncaster, he deserved it. He didn't have a great game. He did have an early shot in the first half. He just seemed a little bit out of it. You know, the funny thing is though, I think he's better on the right than on the left. But what happened yesterday, because Saul doesn't like to play on the left, you had a left footer on the left and a right foot on the right. And be honest with you, I'd much rather had Devaney playing on the other side. Not to put Saul on the left. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if he's going to start, put him on the right. He's not. I don't think he's as effective on the left. He didn't really help out in midfield. I'm not gonna throw stats out there. He just didn't have a great game. And when he subbed off, I had no issue with it. But you gave him a 2, so you thought he had a worse game than I had. So why don't you tell me what you think about Devaney?
Deer in headlights comes to mind when I watched that game.
Fair.
He was out of his depth. He was playing against seasoned Premier League players. I'm not one to with young players. He's not even young. He's 21. But when you see players play, like I can always get a gauge of how their level that they can get to. Devaney done well against Villa. It was a really good performance. That was us setting up in a flat 3, and he was told, run your socks off, run in behind, make it difficult for Villa. It was a game plan. He was not fit for purpose to play that game yesterday. I also, when the lineup came out, because I trust Glasner, I said he's done it for a reason. But the combination of Devaney and Mitchell on the left as our attacking threats is it's not going to win any Premier League game, let alone Everton at home. I think he is fit for purpose for the last 10, 15 minutes when you need someone who is going to run and shut down and keep it simple and keep the ball moving. That's his place in the squad. I don't think he will get many minutes for the rest of the game after that half, me personally.
Okay, so
and the set pieces were horrible.
Well, I didn't think the one to learn was horrible. It was called out, which was very harsh. But
that to me, yeah, I know it's harsh, but it's not a goal. It gets given us out, and the 3 other free kicks were all under hit, over hit, and it's a big thing for a young player to be put on set pieces.
But you mentioned about him and Mitchell not being a good combination, and I agree with that. But I thought that he and Munoz against Doncaster were fine. I thought he underlapped well against Doncaster. That's what I think. I just think him playing on the left side.
Yeah,
Doncaster, I know you said, but I think him playing on that side, it doesn't help. I think he's better off on the other side. But again, Glasner made the decision. It is what it is, and we lost the game. And again, I get where you're coming from, but I think that's a little harsh on the Devaney. But I understand what you're saying. I think he'll develop, but I think he's better off. He's definitely gonna be better off either centrally or on the right, not on the left. But we'll see.
He lost the ball quite. I think he just didn't. He just looks. No, I think he lost the ball 9 times. I checked. I think yesterday is the first time I think 9 times
in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
No way. Did he? I don't see it here. I have dispossessed 0 times on. Maybe this is wrong, but
I got it here. Hold on. I think yesterday on SofaScore, I think every single one of our players lost the ball in double digits.
Wow. Okay. I mean, maybe the metric is on the one that I'm watching, but go ahead.
Possession loss. Okay, 45 minutes played, 1 shot on target, 0 dribbles attempted. Sorry, 2 dribbles attempted, 0 successful, 27 touches, 3 crosses, none accurate, 1 ground draw, 1 out of 4, 0 error draws out of 2, possession lost 9 times, give away 3 fouls.
I don't have that here, but that's it. Okay, that's obviously. I mean, can't defend that.
But he's young, and I don't think he should have been playing. So it's not really his fault.
So let's do that real quickly then. We were in our group chat talking. Who would you have started on that left hand side then?
I think I always make the point about when teams do well, what they're doing badly, like it's you. There's a what's the word? There's a template to beat them. Yeah, there's a template to beat us at home. I think Glasner has to go back to the and change. Something has to. He might have to play a different formation at home. I think it's got to that stage where we potentially have to change the formation. So maybe that's that I would have maybe changed the formation or changed the style of play, but I wouldn't have played Devaney. Maybe to be fair, Eze and Nketiah are not fit. Who else is
Exactly
there?
right.
Kamada.
Kamada.
You would have played Kamada in the left 10.
Kamada is okay. I want to hear from you. That's fine. Kamada's fine. And I will say this again. I don't want to see a change in the style of play necessarily. Maybe more pressing because again, I'll say it again. I think it's definitely down to not taking our chances. Mateta had a chance. Devaney had a chance, and Salah hit the crossbar. Any of the and Lerman's goal was cold off. Any of those go in, and it's a different game in the first half. But again,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Something has to change for sure. But anyway, let's move on. It's really saw 5 from me, 3 from you. 77% passing, 2 shots on goal. Again, hits the crossbar. 1-out-of-1 accurate crosses. He was involved a lot more in the second half than in the first for me, except for the hitting the crossbar. I need to see more out of him. I don't think him and Munoz linked up very well, and they have in the past. But it wasn't a great overall performance going forward for the team. But what are your thoughts on Sarr?
Yeah. Obviously, there was that. Everyone said there's not going to be as much space in behind, and D said it. I agreed, but I said to create space, you have to have technical players who can take the ball in risky positions when they're pressing you, and you have to have technical players who can play balls over the top accurately. Because
Right.
there was space, Pickford cleared up, but if the balls are slightly better, the Sarr and Mateta were getting in, so there was space. Again, we didn't utilize his press. I feel like Everton pressed with us way higher, even from their goal kicks. They had 3 players on the edge of our box. So I don't know whether Glasner underestimated their energy levels or how Moyes would play, but yeah, it wasn't great for me. He didn't do anything, and the 3 is you can't miss those chances. I'm sorry, the goal's gaping. He could go left, he could go right, and you can't miss those to me, especially in those tight games.
When's his last goal? Do you remember? I can't remember last goal. Was it
Arsenal.
Arsenal? Right, it wasn't Brighton. Yeah, so it's been a while. So he's due a goal and needs to get a goal soon. So speaking of goals, Jean-Philippe Mateta 6.5 from both of us. I thought he played well. Again, he should have had that. He had the early chance that Pickford saved, which I think he should have scored. But I think
Pickford should have passed it.
To who? To Sarr?
Sarr, if he lays, Sarr's got literally an open goal there, but then obviously his striker in form, he isn't going to pass it. But
yeah, 11th goal of the season, 11th league goal of the season, 14 on the season, 35th Premier League goal for Palace. I believe now second, or is he tied with Benteke? I believe. I know Zaha's got the most Premier League goals, but
it's halfway to beating Zaha. Zaha's on 69.
I thought hold-up play was good, link-up play was good. I thought Mateta played really well yesterday again, but he should have had that earlier chance, either late off or scored. But your thoughts on Mateta yesterday?
He's playing against 2 really good centre-backs, like as much as people want to say. I heard Stan say we made Tarkowski look like Maldini. Well, did you not see what he done against Liverpool? I think Tarkowski's a great centre-half. I do. I think Braithwaite is a starter for England as well with Gahey. And I think Mateta gave them a tough time, and he took his goal well. I think we kind of all seen that Mateta's probably better when he has less time to think about it. He had a couple of seconds right in front of that Pickford chance that Pickford saved, but then most of his goals I feel like they're more instinct. But yeah, listen, he scored a goal, didn't really get much service.
He did.
I think that's the first goal he scored in a loss this season.
Yeah, he normally comes through for us. You're right. So
yeah,
move on to the subs, and we can be pretty quick unless you want to go in depth. I gave Eze a 6. You gave him a 5. What I'll say about the subs, I thought Eze and Wharton did change the game initially because they both came on at halftime, and we scored the goal within minutes of them coming on. But I thought as the game went on, the second half went on, I don't think the influence was as much. But again, I gave him a 6, you gave him a 5. Anything you want to add as far as Ebbs yesterday? And again, I don't think he should have started. That's just me, but anyway.
Yeah, I thought Ebbs looked really sharp when he came on. Bit disappointed on the end product on a couple of the shots. He was right on the edge of the box and didn't hit the target.
Right.
And after those two, because it's crazy, because after we scored, I thought there was only going to be one winner. Like, I was thinking, oh my God, we got 1-1 and we've got our best players on the pitch and they're going to tire. And Everton done so well. They made it so scrappy for the next 25 minutes. It was horrible to watch. Balls were bobbling off the pitch, second balls, third balls, fourth balls, tactical fouls, taking long. Listen, it was tough. And Eze was a bright spot. And they realised that, because Eze was dropping all the way to the halfway line to get the ball. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Dribble past 4 or 5 people. And then when Nketiah came on, he was trying to take up the spaces that Eze was in. And I'm like, Eddie, get out of the way, because you ain't gonna do what Eze is doing. But yeah, I'm glad to see he's got his little glide back.
I was going to say that part. What I really liked is that there were none of those turning back. So he was driving the ball forward as much as he can every time he can. And that's great to see. And I think that has something to do with the next player we're going to talk about. But yeah, definitely, Eze definitely got that driving forward. And again, hopefully when he's foot's 100%, which I don't think it was yesterday, he'll be starting again. And I think we'll see a lot out of him.
Yeah.
Next, we'll go to Adam Wharton came in at halftime. Again, with Ebbs, 6 for me, 5 from you. I thought he tried to create chances. He was a part of the equalizer. He headed the ball back in. That led to the equalizer. Again, once he came on initially, he and Ebbs really started to dictate the play and get us back in the game. And again, at 1-1, like you, I thought only one winner, but unfortunately, they got that late goal. But what are your thoughts on Adam? I know it's your favorite player, so go ahead.
Yeah, Adam was, but it would have been unfair for me to give. See how I've kept it fair. I haven't really given anyone over a 5.
No,
like,
it's fair.
It's just my scale was lowered down for this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That half is that half is gonna kill me. But when I saw it, I thought you typed it wrong. I thought it was a 5. I said that's a 0.5. But anyway.
Yeah, I thought he was dictating play for the first 10 minutes, and I think Everton noticed what was going on. They said, you know what, anyone can have the ball, but this guy. And when he's going to get him, we're going to press him high. And that happened. He nearly lost the ball on the edge of the box where Isagana tackled him.
Yeah, they pressed it.
That was their game plan. They wasn't ever going to let him dictate play. And you can see he's probably at 80, 90%. He hasn't hit 100%. In his mind, he's 100%. In his mind, because you could see he's chomping at the bit. He didn't want to come off against Doncaster. But why risk it? He's so important. I would rather. We need Wharton at 100%. I'm thinking about Millwall, because I'm thinking the cup. The cup is the most important thing right now.
Yeah.
We're 3 games from potentially getting Europe. That's an easier prospect than trying to get 8th, which we're 9 points behind now. Even though we got Fulham and Villa next, I think if you the chances are probably about 2-3%, but win those 2 games, you might be back up to about 25-30%. But yeah, like Wharton, happy to see him back. He got 45 minutes in the legs. That's the first Prem game. He got 45 minutes. So I'm guessing Fulham, he'll be ready to start.
Right. And I'll say it again, I'm not gonna. I mean, we'll get to the manager in a bit, but I didn't have a problem him not starting. I just still think that he wasn't ready. We could start him. He paid 45, so he started him 45. But again, when he came on, him and Ebbs came on, they changed the game. First goal, we need to get that second goal, maybe a third goal. But we didn't get it. We were just setting ourselves up for that, unfortunately get that late goal by Alcaraz. But another sub came on, I thought he did really well. It was Ben Chilwell. He gave him a 6, I gave him a 5. I thought that, he had that shot on goal. Obviously, we know, Ty looked like he just had a poor game. He came on right away, he had that slide tackle right away. He had the distance that you saw that the smirk from Pickford, like, you almost got me there. Which I really liked. Played a great ball into Saar that was just a little bit too long. He was getting forward. I thought he added something just like Ebbs and Wharton did. But what are your thoughts on Chilwell?
Yeah, I'm just glad he got 45 minutes into his legs Premier League game.
It was was it?
Oh, 30 minutes. Sorry, 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a big decision Saturday, because
you're right now.
It's a big decision. It's a big decision because Me personally, when Palace lose, I can't really watch any other football. So, but I did hear a few comments that Adama Traore was really effective against Nico Williams this
Forest
weekend,
game, Fulham,
and Forest play a back three. So Nico Williams would be in Chilwell's position. So I think it's a bit of a baptism in the fire if you put Chilwell against Adama Traore.
Yeah, right.
So
I think it'll be tie, at least for the first 45.
yeah,
I think it has to be tie, but we'll see.
I think tied just for confidence. You have to give him a chance to maybe put things right.
Make good. Yeah, make
But
good. Yeah.
if this one goes wrong, I think
Decisions have to
that's
be made.
it. I think that's it.
Yeah. Last two subs, nothing from Nketiah for me or from Kamada. I thought they both were trying, but like you said, with Nketiah was
6
taking
minutes,
out
no point.
space, right? And I thought and Kamada was trying to spray a ball out wide. He could have played a simple ball to Wharton. Why is he trying to play a long ball wide? I think it was the Munoz went over his head, trying too hard. But again, he just Last, we get to the manager. A game of 6 and you game of 5. I will go first. I'm going to say it again. I didn't have a problem with the lineup. Yes, in hindsight, you can say, don't start Devaney, start Chilwell over Mitchell, start Wharton over Lerma, and you'd be right. But initially, I can't lie. I wrote it down. I thought that the lineup was fine. Even the subs, I thought the subs at halftime of Ebbs and Wharton very good. People said bring on Nketiah and Kamada earlier. It was 1-1. Or was it? Yeah, it was 1-1. So why would you make the sub before
No,
they?
it was yeah.
No,
So,
people
it was
say make
1-1,
the
right?
sub before, but I'm saying, but I just thought again, it wasn't. It tactically again. I thought we got outdone, outthought by Moyes. It's not one of his final moments. I think, like I said, moments change games. The Lerma situation, the Mateta shot. It is what it is. I'm not going to go crazy on Glasner yesterday. He may have got a couple of things wrong, but again, I don't have a problem with again who he started. In hindsight, I know people in the comments will be saying, "Oh no, you have to start Ebbs and Wharton." You can say that now. I get it. We lost emotion, but I didn't think he was there. Again, I just think tactically we could have done some things a little differently. Like said, the pressing gaps were not great, so we needed to press them differently. Things like that. But I mean, that side. Finally, your thoughts on Club. I kind of went on a little rant there, but anyway.
I think this is the lowest rating I've given him all season.
Definitely is for you, yeah, for sure.
You can kind of forgive the Brentford. It's very similar to the Brentford game, if we're being honest. Very scrappy moments where we should have scored and stuff like that. We probably had a few more clear-cut chances in this game.
Yeah.
The decision to start Devaney was.
You know what? When you said Kamada, I think you're right. That would have been the one I thought about. Ebbs definitely not, but you're right. Kamada had played well before. You're right. Kamada would have been the one to start.
Yeah. And he deserved. I think Kamada deserved another go because he was good against. He didn't have the greatest game against Man United, but he was a threat. He got into good positions. Then Doncaster, he was one of the better players. So then, I don't think Devaney had a good game against Doncaster. Me personally, he had a good goal, but I didn't see anything. He didn't stand out to me. That's just my personal opinion. The way I watch football, I expect a certain level of technical ability. I don't think Devaney has it. I think he has he's got a good foundation and he works really hard and he's fit and he can move the ball okay, but I don't see him as a threat really. So Kamada would have been who I started there if he wasn't going to start Ebbs. He got outdone by Moyes. I didn't get the press. I didn't understand why we weren't pressing them high because we gave them time and they were just I wouldn't even say long balls. They were long passes because every single pass was in a great area and to feet. They were hitting the areas perfectly. It was over the wide centre backs,
right?
But wasn't going off. And it wasn't going into Henderson. Like our longer balls were going straight into Pickford.
Because he was coming out sweeping up, right?
Yeah. Henderson didn't have to sweep up anything. So I don't know. I think Moyes just outdone him, and he maybe overthought it. I don't know, but there's one thing. I think he'll be the first person. He'll probably be beating himself up over that. He speaks about how he struggles to switch off after the game. He'll probably
I
be
agree.
watching that back.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think Glasner, whenever something like this happens, we normally bounce back with something convincing. So no doubt it'll be everyone will be in today, watching the tapes. Probably I think they come in Sunday, then they have Monday off, and it'll be an intense week of training. And yeah, I trust him to get it right, put it right against Fulham. I think we can get a result. Any time we're away from home, I'm confident.
Yeah. Well, that's it for us. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to comment. I'm sure there'll be quite a bit of a comments going in the comment section about our
Don't
rating
take the
today.
ratings too seriously, man. I just lowered my scale this week. My 7 was like a 10 this week.
Fair enough. And good news for me, I will be at the next 3 Palace games: Fulham, Villa, and Millwall. I'm looking forward to going home, seeing the family, seeing some new friends like Lou at the match. It should be a lot of fun. Made some good connections already. So looking forward to that. If we lose the next 3 games, please don't blame me. And I've been called a jinx in the past. Hopefully that won't work out, but that will.
Maybe a little away day vlog for Fulham as well.
Yeah, we could do that too. Yeah. So again, we appreciate all your support. Like, subscribe, and until next time, up the Palace.